Welcome to Shruti Outloud.
Hello.
Hi, Carly.
Hi, Shruti. How are you?
I am doing really well. How are you? How is this lockdown treating you?
It's going well.
Are
Cooking a
you?
lot.
Do you think it's suffocating you does it suffocate you at any point of time? Do you feel suffocated?
No, not at all. I'm an introverted extrovert, so I'm like so happy to have an excuse to be home all the time and not feel
Perfect.
guilty about it. Yeah, it's really nice. What about you?
It's going well. It is going actually really well, and it is giving me all the time to sort of work on all the plans and projects that I had been planning for such a long time. But somehow I just could not find time. But now it's like, instead of 24 hours, I'm really wishing that I could get 48 hours instead.
Right. It's so funny. We have the whole day, and now it feels like we still don't have enough hours in the day because we're taking on so many new projects like this one.
Absolutely, absolutely. So talking about this project, I want to sort of, introduce the whole thing and then possibly talk about you a little. So, hey everyone, today we are with Carly and the topic that we'll be discussing today is easing into veganism. So I will let Carly take over and introduce herself and let's talk about Carly a bit. So Carly, who are you?
Okay, sure. Here we go. So I am a traveler, and originally from the U.S., from Seattle, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And about 2 years ago, almost exactly, I left my corporate job in the fashion and beauty industry back home,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to just take a backpack with me and take the opportunity that I had to travel around the world, and that has led me to India.
Mm-hmm.
And I have spent the last 2 years backpacking around mostly India, but also a few other countries in Asia, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Thailand, where we met, of
Wow.
course.
Yes.
And along the way, I've been a vegan for 11 years, vegetarian for over 30.
Wow.
And back home, I was a lonely vegan. I was never into activism. I didn't even like the word vegan. I was very apologetic. But along my travels, I met a fellow vegan activist who actually made a post on Instagram about me, and had that one post connected me to pretty much the entire vegan community in India and kind of created a new pathway for me. And since then, the vegan community in India has really become like my home away from home, and I've gotten to do so many cool, amazing projects through this community. So yeah, and now I'm currently living in between Chennai and Oroville, and with my partner, who I met at a vegan conference, who owns a vegan store here. And yeah, it's focusing on, I teach yoga and vegan activism and work with animals, and that's about it right now.
Wow. So you actually, when you think about it, you actually, sort of took a really long road to sort of be where you are and be happy where you are.
Definitely a very long and twisted, windy road to get here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so here I would like to ask you something that how did you get the idea, I would say the seed that really sort of, brought up this plant of veganism in your life. So how did that start? Like you just mentioned that you were in a beauty industry and all of that, and it's very, it's very different from where you are right now. So how did this happen?
Yeah, so I was always an animal lover, like since I was very young, since I was just a baby, since I can remember. And so that's why I chose to go vegetarian on my own at about 5 years old. I say 5. My dad says it was between 3 and 4. So I think like inherently children are so innocent. I don't think anyone is born a meat eater. We are born loving animals.
Absolutely.
And we only eat them because of it's a social thing. It's brought upon us later in life that this is the social norm.
Right,
but
right.
you put a child in a crib with an apple and a bunny, they're going to eat the apple. So
Absolutely,
as a
absolutely.
small child, I chose to be vegetarian. As soon as I discovered, what I was eating, I was like, nope, no way, never. I didn't know vegan existed, so I thought I was doing everything I could by being a vegetarian. Fast forward to when I was 25, I was working in the mall at the time, and I was on a lunch break, and I hadn't really heard about veganism. I was in a shop, and I picked up a book, and the book is called Skinny Bitch, and the title was really catchy. I heard about it before, and I just on a whim bought it on my lunch break. I went home and started reading that night, and I couldn't put the book down. And within about halfway into the book, I would say, I immediately, cold turkey, went 100% vegan, and I never went back. It was really one of those, like, I couldn't unknow the information. I couldn't unsee what I had seen in my head after reading the information in the book. And it has a catchy title, but the book really went through each topic of veganism. So it went through the dairy industry, it went through the slaughterhouses, it went through the health aspects, and it went through the environmental aspects. It covered every single base. And from that moment on, I just couldn't go back, and that was it for me. So from there, then kind of started the rest of the journey through health and activism and all of that. But that's where the seed was planted. So, it was really by chance.
Yeah.
Kind of by chance, a little bit. Obviously, I was already on my way. I was vegetarian.
So, would you say that this book really sort of, helped you to take this path completely and just go for it? Was that book would you say that was the final push for you?
Yeah, it changed my life because, I wish I had known the information sooner. I was really upset that no one had shared this with me, that I didn't know this information. Why was this information a secret? Why did I not know about the dairy industry? Why was I fed lies telling me that this was healthy and this is not cool? And so, and I think now obviously we're in a different era. It's a digital era, right? People are not going vegan through books for the most part. I mean, people still read, but it's all the internet, right? So it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's Facebook.
It's everywhere,
But however people are getting that seed planted, someone is sharing that information with them for the first time.
Absolutely.
And so that's all it took. And I think that's all it takes for a lot of people. But there's a lot of people out there who no one has shared that information with them yet. So,
that's true. That's so true.
Yeah, that was it for me.
So would you, just a quick question before we move ahead. So would you suggest people to go ahead with this book if they really want to know more about what is this, what is veganism, and why should they do it? Would you suggest them to start off with this book?
Absolutely. Like it's all based on medical studies and factual information. So it's all it's written really tongue in cheek. Like it's written the way that you would talk to your friends. But it's all backed by medical studies and medical information. So and fact-based information, and all the sources are cited at the end of the book. And so, I definitely recommend that book. They even have a section in the back that's like a glossary of terms of like things that sound scary but are actually safe, and things that sound safe but are actually not good ingredients. It has like meal examples of meal plans. It's got a lot of great information. But now there's also a lot of like documentaries and movies out there that are really great too. As we know, like Game Changers is a big one right now.
Absolutely,
I know you have mentioned that one.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I want Carly to define veganism in her own words. Like, I don't want, what people read on internet. I don't want what sort of, I don't want the defined definition. I want Carly to define veganism for me.
Sure. So for me, like when I first went vegan, I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even use the word vegan. To me, that was a negative term at the time. It had a lot of negative connotation. So what I would explain to people, I wouldn't even say I'm vegan. I would say I don't eat any animal products. So that's a vegan diet, right? And you don't eat anything that comes from an animal.
Right.
And then when you take veganism as a lifestyle, one step forward, it's not just about the diet. And like when I first started, it was just about not eating anything from an animal. And then I kind of evolved into what is considered fully vegan, which is not exploiting animals in any way. So that is the basis of veganism. It is, you know, we don't have a right to, and we shouldn't exploit animals in any way for ourselves. So we should leave them alone. So that includes like not going to zoos or circuses, not riding on animals, whether they be horses or wild animals, not breeding animals because that is, you know, we're forcing them.
Absolutely.
So it's really just respecting animals the same way we respect humans or we would expect people to treat humans. So the word speciesism comes to mind, which is, you know, treating all species the same way that we would treat humans or the same way that we would treat, say, like a dog or a pet, a dog or a cat or a pet. So that would be my definition of veganism.
All right. Okay. Are there any myths that you would like to address? Because there are so many, I would say, myths or, you know, misunderstandings that people have. And is there anything possibly, maybe just one myth that you would like to break in this conversation?
Sorry, the connection cut out just for a second there, just a little bit.
Okay. Should I repeat it?
Yeah, if you can repeat it one more time.
Okay. So I am saying that there are so many myths and misunderstandings out there when it comes to veganism. So would you like to address just one of the myths and possibly just, you know, break it in like one simple sentence?
Sure. I would say like one of the myths is that like veganism is trendy, that it's a trend, or that it's a diet. But it's really a lifestyle. So it's just living a compassionate lifestyle and extending that compassion outside the circle of just humans, but extending it to all species and animals. And the environment too, right? Like the world around us. I would say also on that note, like that the vegans don't care about people. So we just care about animals. But we are extending what we already feel for people to all living beings. So we do care about people and we care about animals too.
Yeah. Why not just sort of, you know, extend that love?
Yeah, like extend that circle of compassion outside of just humans and pets. The other big one I have to address is protein, like the protein myth.
That's a really big one. That's actually very, very true.
It amazes me that I still get this question sometimes, but I'm happy to answer it for people. I think the easiest way to think about it is that plants have protein.
Right.
So all of the animals that we eat for protein, they have to get their protein somewhere.
Absolutely.
So where do they get their protein? And they get it from plants. So, and most people consume too much protein. Also, protein from animals is not healthy for us. So, you know, broccoli has protein, legumes and beans have protein, brown rice has protein, peas have protein. So protein is actually really easy to get in your diet if you're eating a whole food plant-based diet with lots of veggies, greens, and nuts and seeds. You don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to track it.
Yeah, I think that's a very good one, a very, very good myth that you have actually addressed, and I'm sure it is going to help a lot of people and sort of, you know, help them to take this decision. If this was stopping them, this was the reason that they were sort of, you know, thinking about that, okay, I am okay, and I will be a vegan, but where will I get my protein? So there you go. You know, that's the answer right there, that you don't have to worry about your protein even if you are a vegan. It is readily available, it is freely available, and there are so many options to go ahead with.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so many options. I mean, I could go on and on. Listing off all the places that we can get our protein. But I would say that is still one of the biggest myths.
It sure is, because even I am a vegetarian, and even, you know, even with me, people go on about this, that, okay, so where do you get your proteins from and this and that. So yeah, it's right there.
By not eating meat, yeah. Even
Yes.
as a vegetarian, they ask you that a lot.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, you are on, you are only eating leaves and all. And how do you, obviously, you know that these questions are very much there, very, very much there. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sorry, it cut out again just for a second.
Okay, all right. Okay, so, Carly, I would like to ask you if you have faced a lot of backlash from the people, the society, and do they question your, the choice of this lifestyle, and have you faced that?
Yes, a lot. A lot less now than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, it was a really unfamiliar thing. And even being vegetarian, like in India, it's much more common, but back home in the U.S., being vegetarian is much less common, and even more so years back. I remember as a kid, I refused to eat fish at dinner at a friend's house, and the mom sent me home crying, yelling at me for not eating her food, calling me rude and bratty. Even as a child. Yeah.
How old were you when this happened?
Maybe 7, 8 years old.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising, right? It's shocking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
you are not supposed to, talk to a 7, 8-year-old like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to like birthday parties as a kid, and they would order pizza, and they would order pepperoni pizza and one cheese, and everyone would eat the cheese, and I would have nothing to eat. And I would always have to apologize for being difficult, just for making this choice not to harm animals, and so it was kind of like drilled into me from a young age to apologize for this choice. So I spent so much time, even as an adult, I would have meetings, and they would have to cater a specific vegan meal for me at these meetings, because everyone knew I was like the token vegan. And I would, I'm so sorry to put you out of your way. And so like you spend a lot of time apologizing.
Right.
So it's a lot more common now, but then you do get a bit of retaliation. Like as I've been traveling, I've met a lot of vegans, but I've also met a lot of people who then are in opposition.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
The
That's
extremes on both sides. And so you do get kind of used to it, and it gets easier. In the beginning, I would get really emotional and really defensive, and I'd be like, I would just block the person. I'd be like, it's not my job to defend myself.
Right.
And then as I started getting into activism, I realized that actually each person that challenges me is an opportunity.
Absolutely.
This is someone if I can remain calm, keep my cool, breathe, take a minute to think about it, and then logically answer any questions they have. This is an opportunity for me to maybe open someone's eyes.
Absolutely.
And change their mind, because if they're feeling defensive, it's probably because they feel bad about their own choices, and maybe they want someone to give them a reason. Like, okay, explain it to me, and if you can, I might think about making a change.
Absolutely.
So I've definitely changed the way that I react to that backlash, looking at it as an opportunity instead of getting really defensive and emotional and hurt by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really hope...
But it still happens.
Oh, but I really hope that, the frequency has really gone down, because nowadays people are choosing this path. They are finally seeing this and, realizing that, okay, all right, if people are making that choice, it's fine. But yes, there are still a lot of people who get very defensive. I would absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah,
absolutely,
because you're challenging the way that they live their life. So of course they're going to get defensive.
Exactly.
Because it makes them feel bad. And we're not out here to make anyone feel bad. Like, that's not our goal. But we'd like the animal abuse to stop. Like, I would like the animal abuse to stop. So if it makes you feel bad, maybe that's something you need to think about.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's there. That people think that, we are just possibly trying to put them down or something, that we are sort of, pointing fingers at them or something. But yeah, that's not how it is. That's not, and if that question is coming to their mind, if it is coming from their inside their heart, then obviously it is something that, it bothers them. It's just that they possibly don't want to address it, and that's why they become defensive.
Right, because they know it's the right thing to do, but they're having trouble making the change in their life. Like, I believe that most people are inherently vegan because most people are inherently compassionate. Most people would not abuse the animal if it was right in front of them. But they'll pay for someone else to do it because society has made it okay.
Right, right.
Society has put all of these things where you can't see them and then sold them to you. So, people, if someone was, had the animal in front of them and had to, abuse the animal themselves, they wouldn't do it. Most people, I would say 99.999% of people, they would be vegan.
Right,
but
right,
since
right.
someone
Absolutely.
else is doing it and packaging it up and selling it to you in a grocery store, then that makes it, they're hiding it, right?
Exactly. That's very true. That's very true. And yeah, so you have pretty much answered my question of, because I really wanted to ask you that how can we sort of, stop the judgment? Like, if you cannot become a vegan, then you don't also have to judge, because even that happens quite a lot, that if you talk about being a vegan and they would start judging you and this, that. So sometimes you just have to tell them that it's all right, it's your choice. It's okay. We are not asking you to stop eating meat just because we are doing that. So, is it okay with you to sort of, make peace with it?
Sorry, can you just repeat that last one question?
I'm just saying that sometimes people, they obviously they start judging you, and they sort of, they don't want to become a vegan, and they are like, no, we don't want to be a vegan, and we are happy with the choices we are living with. So how do you make peace with that? As in, you simply let it go? That it's all right, okay, it's their choice.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I agree with you there. Like, and I think, like, as vegan becomes more mainstream and more socially accepted, and vegans are on the rise, and it's becoming socially normal, like, I'm so happy that less people, like, okay, if you can't be vegan, at least don't judge vegans. At least don't disrespect them. At least respect it. And I do come across so many more people now, I have to say, who are really open to it. And they're like, you know what, I can't argue with it. I'm not going to argue that animal abuse is okay. I agree with you. I'm with you. I'm struggling to get there myself, and I'm working on making those steps. But they're really positive, and they're, they want to know more, and they're like, I have questions. Can you help me? Or even if they don't want to, they're like, at least I know you're right. And that animal shouldn't suffer for our meal, right?
Right.
So it's definitely come a long way in that regard. And that's, yes, it would be nice if everyone went vegan. Yeah. But if you can't go completely vegan, it's definitely helpful to at least be open to the idea.
Absolutely.
And maybe eat one vegan meal a week or one vegan meal a day. Or
even that would help quite a lot.
Yeah, veganuary is a huge trend, right? So many people are trying it for the month of January each year. And these are non-vegans, but they're at least trying it out, and they're at least respecting it and acknowledging that it's a good thing.
That's true. That's very, very true. Actually, yes. Transition is, for some people, it is very slow, and because, for some people to understand it and accept it, and because obviously accepting it also means that they are accepting that they have been sort of, eating animals for their needs, and changing that mindset, obviously it takes time. The transition happens slowly, but yes, as long as it happens, even if it takes some time, it's all right. It's pretty much okay. Yeah.
Everyone's different. Like, some people it's overnight, and some people it takes a little bit longer. I think it depends what the reason is. So, like, if it's for health reasons or the environmental reasons, which are, to me, not the reason I'm vegan, but they're definitely a huge benefit of being vegan. I'm an ethical vegan, so for me it's the animals 100%. So when you find someone who the reason behind it would be the environment or diet, and health, it might take them a little longer because there are some days I'm better with my diet and some days that I'm not. There's some times that I don't buy plastic for a month and sometimes I buy some plastic and I feel really bad about it. But when you strip it down to the animals and the reason behind it being ethical, I think it's easier to stick with it because I'm going to be ethical every day of my life. There's no flexibility on that for me. I think most people would feel the same way. Like they're not going to abuse a person on a daily basis. So if you extend that to animals, then I think it's easier to stick with it, to be consistent, to make that choice a lifestyle, and it becomes a little more permanent.
Right. That's true. That's very, very true, actually. When you think about it that way, I think that's a very good way to go on about it.
Yeah. So I know you kind of wanted to talk about the movie Game Changer too. I know that's like a really big buzzword right now. Have you seen it yourself?
Yes, I have. I did. Yeah, I did. And honestly, I'll tell you very honestly that because, I have been always very lean. And for past few years, I have been trying to gain weight and, protein. Obviously, again, the protein was my problem because I am a vegetarian. So, so for me, I started going to the gym and all of that, and I started eating eggs. And because I thought that was possibly the easiest way to put some protein in. Yeah. So I did that, and I had started loving eggs. I won't even deny it. I did because, I was trying different things and I was loving it. But then I saw Game Changer and I was like, I don't need that. I am not going to, buy any eggs anymore. And I think we still had some eggs in our fridge when I saw that documentary. And after that, I just told my mom that, Mommy, I'm not gonna eat them anymore. So that even Game Changer changed that perspective for me completely. Like I won't say that, I will suddenly start going for eggless cakes and all of that. That's the indirect way would still be there, but at least I put my foot down and I was like, no, I am not going to do this directly. At least that's one way that, I am going to take this path ahead. And no, I'm not going to eat eggs directly anymore. And gradually, I really want to make that change. And it is a little difficult, I'll be very honest, because, coming from an Indian family and, we use ghee and all of that, that's very much a part of our life. So even if I tell my mom, okay, Mama, I'm going to be a vegan. So because, we use ghee quite a lot in everything that we make. So it would be a little difficult for her also to adjust to that. But I think gradually I will reach there. Like I know that gradually I am going to reach there. So what do you think about the documentary Game Changer? What would you like to say about it? Like I would really like to hear your perspective.
So if I could be really honest, like I went vegan before all of these documentaries came out. And I watched only one documentary up until recently in my entire vegan life, and that was I had ordered a vegan starter kit and they sent a documentary in the mail. And it was called Meet Your Meat. And I still recommend it to anyone who's interested. It's a short film, and it's pretty brutal. It's slaughterhouse footage. And I watched it, and I honestly couldn't eat for like a week. I was already vegetarian and already going vegan at this point, and I still couldn't eat anything for like a week because it really stuck with me. So I think documentaries in general are really powerful and really important for people to see, even if you are already vegan or vegetarian, because it's a kind of a reminder of why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
So after that documentary, I honestly hadn't seen most of them, and I still hadn't seen a lot because I was kind of like the mindset of like, I'm already vegan, I don't need to see it. But when Game Changers came out, I did watch it, and it was really cool because they took a different angle. And obviously, they're for anyone who hasn't seen it, they're showing elite athletes. It's, narrated by an elite athlete who's on this journey. and they show a completely different angle. You know,
Absolutely.
they don't show any of
Yeah.
the like slaughterhouse footage and the stuff that some people just don't want to see. And so you get a lot of people, a new audience of people who are open to learning about veganism. And anything that does that is good for the movement and good for the animals. And then what I saw after this documentary was, I noticed guys on Facebook who I knew when I was younger who were kind of like the meathead stereotype, posting about going vegan and plant-based, and they're posting about it on Facebook, and I was shocked. And these are people who probably teased me and gave me a hard time about it when I was younger, who are now changing their minds because of it, solely based on this documentary. And we actually, within my partner's friends group, he saw a lot of his friends who had given him a hard time start to go vegan. And a lot of guys started coming into the store looking at vegan options. So it really appealed to an audience that maybe hadn't been appealed to before. So I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
even two of my very close friends, even after watching Game Changer, even they decided to go vegetarian at least. Like, because you know the transition to vegan is, I would say, that is difficult. But yeah, these people are who used to sort of, you know, eat meat on a regular basis, like their childhood, it had been very normal for them. So
yeah, they thought it was manly. These are the gym guys. These are the guys who think it's cool and who think it's wussy to be vegetarian or vegan.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're showing them that, you know, it's not.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's a big change. And vegetarian first is how most people get there. So I was vegetarian first. So I think that's a great first step.
Yeah.
Some people go straight to vegan from non-veg. I know a lot of people who've gone hardcore non-veg to vegan. But vegetarian to vegan is probably the easiest way. So it's a great way to ease yourself into it.
Absolutely. And I was actually both of them, when they told me that, okay, you know what, we are vegetarians now. And I was shocked. I was shocked. I was like, okay, I am very happy to hear it, to be very honest. And I just hope that you stick to it. That was my only hope, that, you know, I really hope that you sort of just continue with this and, you know, take this ahead. And yeah.
Yeah, and what we were talking with one friend, and we were at a group dinner, and one friend, she's not vegan, but her husband had gone vegan because of this documentary, Believe. And he said originally he did it for health reasons, but then later the animal cruelty reasons, as he started to do more research and his eyes really opened, and it changed, and he changed from being a health vegan to being an ethical vegan. So that really stuck with me. Like, in order for it to be a permanent change, like a diet is a fad. A diet is not something that sticks.
Absolutely.
So it's great if people do it for their diet, but it doesn't have longevity or staying power. If they do it for, you know, their health or their lifestyle, it's great. But if you do it from an ethical standpoint, then that really is when it has the staying power. So
absolutely,
a lot of people will get there through Game Changers, and then, you know, as they see that the diet is easy, they think about why they're doing it and they connect the dots.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. Okay, so Carly, I want you to tell us a bit about the vegan store that your partner runs, and what's its name, and sort of, you know, just give me a little bit information on that, so that possibly some of our listeners who might be based there, and if they want to sort of, you know, explore it, they should know that, okay, this is the place where they can easily head, and it's their answer.
Definitely. I would love to. It's in Chennai. It's called Earth Story, and it's the first and only fully vegan store in Chennai, and it's a vegan lifestyle store. So they have everything from food to cosmetics to household cleaning items, to shoes and wallets, to makeup. So, you know, like vegan, people think about vegan as a diet, but they don't think about the fact that a lot of, you know, household items may have animal ingredients in them. A lot of makeup and skincare has animal ingredients in it. So it's more than just your food, but there are things that you use every day as well. So the store is here in Chennai. It's called Earth Story.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in the Chennai area, there's also a branch in Pondicherry and one in Point Vitour that just opened.
Oh, wow, that's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, and off the top of my head, I know about one vegan store in Mumbai called Rare Earth, and that's just off the top of my head. So,
do you have any suggestions for Delhi?
I don't know of a vegan store in Delhi, but there are a lot of great vegan restaurants in Delhi, and all over. So one of my favorite tips for anyone thinking of going vegan or travelers that are vegan is to use Happy Cow. It's a really cool app where anywhere in the world, and especially India, you can just type in nearby, and it will show you nearby vegan restaurants. It will show you vegetarian restaurants. It will show you vegan stores. It will give you non-veg restaurants that have vegan options on the menu.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, that would be actually very helpful.
It's really growing. So, more vegan stores are opening up, like the one here in Chennai that my partner runs. And they're popping up all over the place. So, and zero waste stores as well. There's vegan zero waste stores. I know they just opened one in Sri Lanka, where I had also been on my travels. And we also went in Thailand when we were together.
Yes, we did. We sure did. And I loved that place. And yes, whatever I tried there, it was so good. So good. Like, why not? The question was, why not? If you are getting something like this to eat or drink, and what difference does it make? You are being ethical. You are treating everybody equally on this planet. And yeah, you're still getting to eat such delicious stuff. So
yeah, and we were in Koh Samui, tiny little island in Thailand, and it wasn't even, I just came across that place accidentally. It wasn't even coming up on any of the apps that I use. No one had recommended it to me. I just saw it walking down the street, and I saw a sign that said vegan, and I remember my eyes lit up. It was across the street from where we were staying.
Right.
Run by two local women. And I think we had like protein smoothie bowls for breakfast and some raw protein bars that they made.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was at a little organic shop. And it's like, if we can find that on vacation, traveling in Thailand on a tiny little island, then you can find it in Delhi. And you can find it in Mumbai, and you can find it in the cities. And if you're not in the city, honestly, like I've been in so many small local villages while I've been traveling, and the easiest thing to do is just to buy local fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds, and you're good. So you don't need, like these restaurants and these cafes are great and they're amazing and they make it accessible, but you don't need that.
Right.
Like that's another misconception. And especially in India, most pure veg restaurants, if you just say no ghee, no curd, it's vegan, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty much,
It's actually really easy to eat local and sustainable and budget friendly while traveling and be vegan. Much easier than people think. Much easier. Yeah.
Okay, I have a quick question. It just came to my mind actually that do you think that the food options that are vegetarian or vegan, they are a bit on the expensive side? And that can be one of the reasons that it possibly, stops people from taking that path.
Yeah, so that is probably the biggest misconception that I should have addressed when you asked me earlier, is that it's expensive and that it's elitist and that only people with money can afford to be vegan.
Right.
Being vegan can be really expensive. And being non-veg can be really expensive, right? You can go to really expensive 5-star veg restaurants and you can go to cheap ones. You can make your own food at home and have it be inexpensive, or you can choose to go out to eat. So it's really what you make it. I feel like there are options in all categories. So there are expensive touristy vegan restaurants and there are local restaurants where you get your dinner for less than 100 rupees.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that's a huge misconception. But, if you're looking at like expensive dairy alternatives, yes, it can get pricey, right? If you are going to be a junk food vegan, which is fine, and you might be splurging on some 400 rupee ice cream and some 300 rupee like nut milk, and you're going to be buying tofu and all of these things, like it can get expensive.
Right.
But those are great transitional foods. You know, I splurge on those foods sometimes too. But those foods are not necessary for our diet.
Right.
You do not need milk. You do not need, vegan cheese. You do not need these things to be healthy and for your nutrition. If you want these things, that's great. And I promote these companies that sell them because it helps people to transition to cruelty-free options.
Absolutely.
But they are not necessary. Like, you can drink your coffee black. You can make your oats with water, hot water. You know, you can make your tea with water. You can make it black. You do not need milk in your diet whatsoever.
Right.
Like, you can make all of the best curries with coconut milk. You don't need all of these expensive alternatives. So it can cost as much as you want it to be. I've been traveling on a pretty minuscule budget for quite a long time. So I've traveled for 2 years off of my savings. And if I've been able to do that while maintaining being vegan, but I think that kind of answers the question of if it can be affordable.
Yes, absolutely. You actually answered that question very well because that has been one thing that I have heard quite a lot of times, and mostly from possibly in India it is still not that expensive. Obviously in India it is definitely not expensive, but I've heard about it being expensive in other countries. So I thought that I really would want to sort of ask you that question, considering that you have traveled so much and you have experienced the life while on road. So that actually helps quite a lot. Thank you, Carly. Okay, so please go ahead.
It just came to my mind, like, I used to, if you go out to dinner every night, vegan or not, it's going to be expensive. But I remember, like, when you think about other countries besides India, like, I'm from the U.S., right? So there's Trader Joe's, for example. Some people may be familiar. It's like an organic, less expensive grocery store.
Right.
So I remember there was a shopping list of, like, eat vegan for a week for $25. And we're buying things like black beans and brown rice and, inexpensive veggies, and you're making your own food, then it's going to be really inexpensive. So my best advice for that is to look at what's local and look at what's in season. So I try to buy as locally and in season as possible when I look at my fruits and veggies and legumes. And that is the easiest way for me to budget.
I think that's one way to sort of, go on about it without it really pinching your pocket.
Yeah. And that's for the environment. If we're eating what's local and in season, then we're eating more sustainably anyways. Our food is not traveling far. Our food is usually then not processed or packaged in plastic. We can buy these things bulk. Most places in India. So you're not only looking at veganism, but you're actually helping the environment by being much more sustainable as well.
Absolutely. And that should give people one more reason to think about it. There you go, people.
Yes.
All right. So, Carly, I would like to ask you for any quick recipes or superfood suggestions that you could share. Something that, could be as simple as maybe a smoothie made with banana or maybe some other fruit. Anything, basically, You've got the floor.
Yeah. So, like, my local superfoods that I always have with me, like, I don't take supplements on a regular basis because I don't need to, because it's naturally, like, I get everything I need in my diet. So I guess my number one suggestion is to eat as colorfully as possible. So when I go to the grocery store and I fill my basket up, I try to throw as many colors in there as possible.
All right.
Because each color has a different nutrient or macronutrient in it. So, I make sure I've got some, spinach and some yellow peppers and some tomatoes and some red cabbage. And, I'm throwing all the colors in there.
Yeah.
So that's one tip. My superfoods that I always like to have with me, spirulina. I'm a huge spirulina nut. It grows in South India, so it's pretty inexpensive here. So I buy it whenever I can find it. I like the powder because I like to mix it into smoothies, and I like to sometimes even make green oats and mix it into my oats. So spirulina also has a lot of protein.
Right.
So it's a really easy way to get your protein. So spirulina is one of my favorite superfoods. Also raw cacao. So for those who have a sweet tooth especially, raw cacao is not super expensive and it's really healthy. It's raw, obviously, much healthier than cocoa, which has added sugars and emulsifiers and is not inherently vegan. Same thing, I like the powder and I throw it into oats or smoothies. I sprinkle it on top of stuff. I make nice cream out of it. So cacao, spirulina, turmeric. Turmeric I put on everything. And so a couple of my favorite recipes. So I thought of this when you talked about your eggs. So a lot of people are scared of tofu, but I do love to eat tofu. It's a great lean protein. You talked about the gym. I'm also kind of a gym freak too, so I love to get lean protein. So I love making a vegan tofu scramble where I just chop up some tofu. And I try not to use any oil when I cook. So I like to use water-rich vegetables like onions, diced onions and tomatoes. And I just put that in with a little bit of water, some garlic, chopped up garlic, and I'll use that instead of oil. And when you grill those vegetables, there is enough water in there that you don't need to use oil. And then I'll throw in some diced tofu, some spinach, and turmeric. So I sprinkle the turmeric on the tofu, and it gives it the color of eggs. And it gives it a really nice flavor. And turmeric is in every Indian kitchen. So there you go. There's your easy vegan scrambled egg recipe for
I actually really, I actually have, water in my mouth right now after listening to that. I really want to eat it like right away if I could. But unfortunately, because of the lockdown, I don't think so I can get tofu as of now. But yes, the moment I can get it, I'm gonna give it a shot for sure.
And let me know. And it's really quick and easy. I'm not a good chef. I'm like a really simple vegan chef. So if I can do it, you can do it. So the tofu and the spinach in there make it really high in protein and really healthy too.
Right,
so that's
absolutely.
One of my favorite recipes. The other thing that I just discovered, I was kind of angry that I didn't discover it sooner after 11 years of being vegan, is how to make an ice cream. Have you ever made an ice cream before?
Not really, but I am all ears. Please go ahead.
Okay. So you need a pretty strong blender because I've recently broken a mixie trying to make it with a small mixie. So try it with a little bit of a stronger blender. But basically you freeze bananas and you combine them with pretty much anything in order to make healthy vegan ice cream, and it's called ice cream. So it's made with a frozen banana base instead of a milk base. So some of my favorite recipes of an ice cream is using the raw cacao powder with the frozen bananas, and then I like to add in dates to sweeten it up a little bit. So we just throw a date or two in there, and you just blend it, and not too much. I don't add any nut milk if possible because that will make it more of a smoothie consistency, but you want it to have that thick ice cream-like consistency. So there you go. 3 ingredients: bananas, dates, and raw cacao powder, and you have chocolate ice cream.
Oh, wow. You have given me such good treasure.
I also love ashwagandha. So I take ashwagandha. I try to take on a daily basis because it's a great anxiety and stress reliever, and it's local. And so I add that in there too, just to get a little bit of that in there. Another one of my favorite things to use is pineapple. So pineapple chunks freeze really well. And so if you freeze up some pineapple chunks and mix them with the banana, then you've got pineapple ice cream, and it's delicious.
Oh wow, Carly. I am so happy that we are having this conversation right now. I can't even tell you that, this makes me so happy because otherwise I don't really eat a lot of sweets, but yes, sometimes, you just want something. You just want something a little different. So I am definitely going to
Sometimes you just get a craving.
Yeah, sometimes it just happened. So I am definitely going to give this a shot, at least because, the bananas are there. So I'm pretty much sure I can arrange for other stuff. And I am going to make this ice cream and I will let you know for sure. All right. So before I let you go, I have just one quick last question. If you have any lockdown tips for vegans.
Yes. So I definitely stocked up, not an excessive amount, but enough for myself to make sure that I didn't have a shortage of fruits and veggies during the lockdown.
Right.
And, we've been able now, as we've seen it unfold, to go out every few days and pick up our groceries as needed. But the prices have gone up, things are less accessible, and we really want to stay home, right? We don't want to be going out every day for groceries, or it kind of defeats the purpose of the lockdown.
Absolutely.
So one of my biggest tips is to get fruits and vegetables that you can freeze.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to go without fresh fruits and veggies during lockdown. Actually, if fruits and vegetables are frozen at their peak ripeness, they actually retain all of the vitamins and minerals. So as long as you freeze them, they're not going to lose any of their nutritional value. So,
okay.
Yeah, so things you can freeze are corn, peas, broccoli, and yeah, those are some veggies that freeze really well. Spinach, and then like I said, for the ice cream, I've been buying an excess of bananas. Biggest tip is peel them and chop them first. You won't be able to peel them and chop them after you freeze them.
Right.
So peel them and chop them first. But freezing bananas, pineapple, grapes, green grapes. I freeze green grapes, and they're you just go in the freezer and you get them as a healthy snack. Eating frozen grapes. And those are in season right now. You can freeze mango once it's starting to come around towards mango season. So mango, papaya, all of these things you can buy a few extra, slice them up, freeze them, and then have them ready to go. So that is one of my biggest tips for lockdown. It's how I've been able to still eat really healthy every day.
Absolutely.
Yes. The other thing is oats. So as a healthy vegan, like oats, and I'm not a great cook. Oats is one of my easiest go-to meals. So you just buy a giant bag of oats. I don't really have any certain brand. Any oats will do. And you can dress up your oats any way you want. You can add raw cacao and mix chocolate oats. I like to cut bananas and pomegranate seeds and sprinkle them on top. Sometimes I mix in turmeric and some different spices, and I made golden oats the other day. Sprinkled some cacao nibs on top of some oats that I made with turmeric and coconut milk. So you can do peanut butter and jelly oats. I'll mix in some peanut butter and a little bit of jam and put some bananas on top. So you can really do a lot with oats. You can make them different every single day.
Yeah,
you can add
the options are
cinnamon and
endless.
apples. Yeah, and you could even do masala oats and make savory oats versus just sweet. So that is also something that will store really well and keep you going through lockdown.
Absolutely. This is going to be of great help, I'm pretty much sure. Thanks for sharing all of this information, Carly. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm so happy to share. And if you can get your hands on some tofu, if you find that, that's also something that will keep really well in your fridge. And you can make lots of those tofu scrambles during lockdown.
Right. I am really looking forward to this one for sure. The moment I get some tofu, I am going to give it a shot for sure, and I will update you on that. Okay, Carly, I did it and it was delicious because I'm pretty sure it will be delicious. And I will keep you updated.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Absolutely. All right, Carly. So with this, I think we can sort of, end this conversation here, and possibly I will bring you back some other day for a new episode. But so far this went so well, and I'm so happy that we could discuss this topic of, easing into veganism. And I'm pretty sure it is going to help a lot of people. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Carly, she is on Instagram and she has her own blog, and I will leave all the information in the description. So yes, there you go. All right, Carly.
Thank you so
so
much,
much.
ma'am. And thank you for, even as a non-vegan, for highlighting this topic and for wanting to share and spread awareness and spread compassion. That really says a lot. It says a lot about you and about the fact that there are people out there who are open to this. And,
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. So thank you for taking the time. And thank you for understanding, we're in lockdown and I'm sharing a house with many people. And so I had my family coming in and out a couple of times during the conversation. So I apologize, but I think we're all kind of in the same boat during lockdown here.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
All
all right.
right.
I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you so much.
All right, Carly. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe.